The Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered by a tribe of Bedouin in a series of complex caves along the West Bank, Israel, in 1947. More discoveries were made in the 50s, the texts all wrapped up in sealed ceramic jars. Some of the jars had already been broken, the texts likely lost forever. But the few that remained stunned archaeologists and academics. At first, many were skeptical, but dating the texts quickly dismissed any accusations of forgery. They were found to have been created somewhere between the 2nd century BC and the 1st century CE, more than 2,000 years ago. They shook the foundations of Judaism and Christianity. Here were some of the oldest biblical texts ever found. Their significance was explored during the Smithsonian Channel's documentary, Secrets Unlocked, The Copper Scroll, in which the narrator noted how the texts revolutionized biblical history. The Dead Sea Scrolls are now kept in Jerusalem, on display in the Israel Museum Shrine of the Book, an extraordinary collection of nearly 1,000 ancient manuscripts. Danny Herman, an archaeologist, has studied them for nearly 2 decades. He told the documentary, "The Dead Sea Scrolls are by far the most important discovery ever made in this land. These are the oldest copies of the Old Testament that we have. They were written somewhere between the 2nd century BC and the 1st century CE. The scrolls predate every other manuscript of the Hebrew Bible by 1,000 years, and provide us with a unique insight into a way of life before and during the time of Jesus." Mr. Herman said, "Codes of behavior, hymns, prayers, a whole library, 2,000 years old. It's truly an amazing discovery." Much has been said about the scrolls and what they tell us about a time long gone. During a 2014 episode of BBC Radio 4's podcast, Beyond Belief, Archaeology and Religion, religious archaeologists and scholars discussed the social aspect of the scrolls. Professor Francesca Stavrakopoulou, a biblical scholar, revealed how the findings exposed certain social issues of the time. She said, "I think it shows us that the time of Jesus, the Jesus movement that grew up around him was just one of a number of Jewish sects or cults in which there were all sorts of anxieties about the relationship of the Jewish people and their God to the rest of the world. Particularly in relation to the Roman Empire. And so, ideas about the end times and a great apocalyptic or eschatological battle, the coming of a savior figure or a messiah figure were actually not just common but were really diverse in their manifestations. Jesus and the movement around him was just one of those manifestations that happened to catch